Welcome to hell. Do I get any of that delicious beer, or are you keeping that for yourself?
You didn't like this one, the melons one.
I thought she said she wanted one.
I have some. It's right here.
Yes.
I keep it on the floor because knowing me, I'll knock it over and it'll hit the cameras. So
Cameras on stands, don't worry.
I know, but
just kidding.
something
It's okay.
will get damaged.
Something will get fucked up.
I always keep my water and coffee away from my laptop when I'm working because I'm just very. I can.
Are you clumsy?
You know.
You can say it.
Sometimes, it depends how scattered I am in the moment. Sometimes I'll just be moving. It's not clumsy as much as I just move quickly.
Okay.
So
you can also take that wire and hook it up on that little corner piece.
Oh, this?
Oh yeah, so you don't hit it.
No, it's okay.
Wow.
It doesn't want to stay. I can see that. It's okay. This is fine.
She's like, fuck it, it's fine. Let's go. Shut up.
The song is called Tomorrow's Another Day, off of my upcoming record, Acceptance, as well. Staring at the ceiling, losing the feeling, knowing just what to do, trying hard to discover how to love another if you don't know how to love you. But tomorrow's the day and you will wash the pain away by being alone and okay, because everybody has their reasons to break down and start up again. Don't worry about fear and the doubt. Your time come for you. You know you don't have any control, so why try and figure it out? Because everything, it happens for a reason, or so we are led to believe. And everything that happens for believing will only bring you back to me again. But tomorrow's another day and you will wash the pain away by being alone and okay, because everybody has reasons to break down and start up again. Yeah, to break down and start up again, or to lose love just gonna say sweet after every song.
Hello and welcome to the Jersey Shore Musicians Podcast. I'm Matt. That's Jeff.
Hi.
And tonight we have Rachel Ana Dobken.
Hey, golf clap. Golf clap.
Do I clap for myself? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, perfect.
Hello, thank you guys so much for having me.
Not a problem. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Any problems finding the place?
I did get kind of like turned around, but I blamed that on my GPS, and then it was like turn here, and then I see that it was like you get off the main road and it's right here.
Ah, yes.
So I had to do then another U-A, but I made it.
Okay, well, that's
I'm
the
here.
most important thing. Is
Yeah,
you made
exactly,
It, okay?
exactly.
So, how's things going?
Things are going well. Kind of crazy right now because I'm just like prepping the release of this record, and just as a constant to-do list, which doesn't end, which is just like, because I do everything myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'm booking my shows, I'm booking my tour, I'm doing my graphics, I'm, having to edit videos and cut TikToks, and it's just this.
Sorry, not a fun.
Yeah, well, and that's part of like the stress that is like this, like putting this release together. It's like, oh shit, I need to make sure I have like all my 20 TikTok videos ready, because once you start, it's like we're rolling.
Okay.
So
you want to get basically like, the green flag
The
comes up
content.
and you just
Yeah. Well,
you run with it.
exactly. Like there's been a lot of anticipation in this record because this record has taken, it was a whole journey, and I'm sure we can talk about that, but it's a whole journey and a process of like doing it through COVID. We started recording it in end of February of 2020. COVID happened. We were like out of the studio for a couple of months because we couldn't get into the studio.
Yeah.
And then also like, unfortunately, my dad passed of cancer in 2021. So
Sorry.
thank you. I appreciate that. So part of the journey of this record, and even some of the writing, had to do with like coming to terms with accepting his passing and living through that. So there's a lot of like emotional catharsis that's like being built up. And then it was like we had to mix it and then remix it and then get it mastered. And then there were just like a lot of things that have been sort of tying my hands behind the back of it just taking a little bit of time, myself included, but and wanting to do it right. But it's just like, okay, let's go.
Well, it kind of sounds like it just shows your evolution through the whole process too.
Yeah, I did this record a little differently in that I know so many musicians that I've met over the last couple of years, and I sort of wanted to do like batches of songs with different producers. So I set out and had like 3 or 4 separate producers that I was like, all right, I'm going to do 3 songs with this guy, 3 songs with this person, But it ended up that I just sort of really did most of the record with Eric Romero from the Front Bottoms and Paul Ritchie from the Parlor Mob. And those 2 guys were like really pivotal, and especially Paul, in helping me like get this over the finish line. 'Cause you like end up working on like 5 records at the same time, which when you're making a rock record, an analog rock record that's got like acoustic drums and live band, it's just like, it's one thing if you're a hip hop artist and you're doing that and you're just like, oh cool, we'll just get this beat. But if you're like cutting drums in 4 different studios, it ends up taking a lot of time
Oh yeah.
and costing a lot of money. Where
That's
you're like,
saying it costs a lot of money too.
you're like, okay, like there's reason why when you do a record and you cut 10 drum tracks in one day, it's way more conducive to both time and money
Oh yeah.
than like, let's just do these 2 songs with this one. I mean, it was a great experience and like it was awesome. And I did a song with Christopher Thorne from Blind Melon out in Joshua Tree, which is one of the songs I played for you guys. So it was a great experience, but I know a lot more now.
Well,
I'll never cut a record like this again. Never.
One and done.
Yeah.
It's just Pro Tools and up. We're okay.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Much quicker.
Yep, I have got Pro Tools on my computer now. I'm already recording new songs. I'm like, this is how we're going to do it. Like, no.
That's great. That's great. So, okay, let's talk about the songs that you wrote for this new record.
Yeah.
Like, we have all your inspiration.
Yeah.
How did you go into the studio and start it?
Okay, well, so I do every, like the process of actually playing pretty much similar because I'm a drummer, and so I will cut and I play all the drums on my record. So I'll cut scratch guitar and vocals and sort of like flush out like, okay, what's the tempo map going to be? Are we changing this part around with producer, engineer? And then cut that. And then Dan, my bass player, Dan Haas, and I, shout out Dan.
Hi, Dan.
You know him. My dude. We'll go in and we'll always track bass and drums live because that's really important to me that we get that
synergy.
Well, that's the whole feel of the song. Yeah.
Exactly. And like sometimes we'll cut the whole song live. Like, so this record is called Acceptance, and we can talk about that title later. But like the title track, we did it live as a 4-piece because the song really needed that live energy with 2 guitars, bass and drums. And but for the most part, it's like scratch guitar, vocals, and then Dan and I will come in, lay down the bass and the drums, make sure that the bed is super tight, super solid, feels live, and then we'll build everything on top. So a lot of the guitar parts I write and then play, or I had other guitar players like Eric Rudick played a lot of the guitars as well. I have some special guest guitar players.
Whatever.
Exactly. So that's kind of where I start with
Okay.
cutting songs. Yeah.
All right, so it's not so Pro Tools up, but I'm assuming it's done to a click. You're overlaying it. You're overlaying the guitars. You're trying to keep as much of a live feel as possible, which is definitely, I feel, is the right way to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta let it breathe and you gotta let it flow. And,
Yeah.
Totally.
You want it to still be human.
yeah.
And like some of the songs, like the end of Acceptance, we ended up doing that completely live, not to a click. Like we sort of took, and when people hear this song, they'll understand. Like there's a main riff that is what how I started writing the song, and we took that riff and we deconstructed it, and we did just a jam at the end, and it's like very kind of like Sabbath meets Blind Faith, and yeah, it was like the coolest, most amazing, fun recording day of my life doing that. It was it was very organic and awesome, and just like very sweet.
That's awesome.
In a musical way, both like sweet, but also like sweet.
Dude, sweet. Sweet.
Like sweet, like because it's super rock and roll. It was a challenging song to play, and the night before in rehearsal, Paul was like, "If you're gonna play with us, you better fucking hit the drums, Rachel." I was like, "Okay, here we go." Like he really pushed me as he has done as my producer. In general, in the best way, like you want that person who's gonna like sees your potential and is gonna bring it out and is not.
Yeah,
gonna
you don't want someone that's just like, oh, that sounds good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want someone that's gonna be like, you can play that better.
Yeah.
I know you can play that better, and no, I'm not gonna play it for you. You're gonna play it yourself. So
So get in there and fucking do it.
yeah, exactly. So that was a special day when we cut that song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
And how was it tracking vocals? Like, was it your own, like, okay, everybody out, I'm going to do...
I got used to having people around in a way that I haven't before.
Okay.
Like, and I do really like owe it to Paul, because again, it was a situation where like his studio was hang. Like his studio's New Future in Belmar, which unfortunately he had to close after COVID. But like there were people and friends that would hang out, and normally I'd be really self-conscious, but I don't know, there's something that it just kind of forced me to a little out of my comfort zone. I mean, there were definitely times like I am very much so a person that gets in my own head, and which I was saying to you in the back is like, especially with vocals, like I've been working a lot on my voice, and I'm in this weird space as I was when I was recording, where I was so particular about singing because I was so focused on the technique that I was having a hard time getting out of the mind and into the body. That it was very like, okay, this feels like an exercise. How do I like break through this wall and like have this be more soulful and more like a performance?
Yeah, just let it rip.
Yeah, which I got there, but that I actually feel like recording vocals for this record was the most challenging part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to re-sing some of the songs only because I was so like, oh my God, I need it. And that's why now when I do even practicing or gigging, I'm forcing myself to gig as much as possible, because it really does force you to just like do and not think.
Yeah, you gotta turn the brain off. And
Yeah.
Just go.
Yeah. I mean, like, do you guys struggle with that? Are you the singer in the band?
No, I play bass, but I have
Okay.
sang.
Okay.
And it's, I mean, singing and playing is two completely different animals.
Yeah.
And when you got to put them together, it's
Yeah.
it's a nightmare for me.
I've gotten used to doing that, especially as a singing drummer, which sometimes actually helps me to play the drums and sing. But it's a challenge for sure. And we've had this conversation in my band where like sometimes I'll play drums and sing for the whole set, and I'll talk to the guys and they'll say like, it's really cool and you can keep working on it, but we also think it's really important that you're up front, because sometimes like there's certain songs where I'm only able to sing like 60% of what I want to, like in terms of my power and capacity when I'm playing the drums, because it's just like, there's a lot going on,
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know.
Okay. So they pretty much are like, live, you're not sitting back there anymore?
Well, no, it's a mixture. It really depends on It really depends on if we have a drummer for the gig. Like,
Okay.
we have certain situations where either because of like we just don't have a drummer, or it's more cost effective and we're on the road. Is that another?
Oh yeah. By the way, it's 4th of
Kaboom.
July,
It's-
so happy 4th of July,
happy
everybody.
4th, right?
You hear bags where you're not in the ghetto streets of people shooting each other. It is literally fireworks.
It's just America.
America. Sorry, God.
But yeah, so it depends. I mean, like, we'll be touring this summer, and some of the gigs we're doing, or I'll be playing drums and singing. And the way we're sort of mitigating that is like, I'll do a song or two on guitar, and we're just coming up with a cool arrangement with me and JT, my guitar player, and Dan. We'll just do 2 guitars bass and like kind of find interesting ways where maybe mid song we take a solo, I put the guitar down and get behind the drums, because also people remember those things. It's not
Yeah.
something you see every day.
Yeah.
Swapping
it's
out.
true.
It's
Yeah. So, and I love to play the drums. I feel the most comfortable behind the kit. So, yeah.
That's so cool. It's like Phil Collins and
So you gotta get yourself one of them little Britney Spears like little headsets.
Oh,
no,
God.
don't do that. I hate that.
No, Levon Helm is my dude. He's my
Okay.
favorite from the band. But
That's awesome.
Phil Collins and
I'm thinking of the guy from. Oh my God.
Well, I always liked
Losing my mind.
Matt Cameron from Soundgarden.
Yeah.
And he had his own guy, and his
Totally.
microphone stands on like a swivel. And there's a
Yeah.
guy that sits behind his kit, and when
just
it's his
turns it-
turn to sing, he like swivels the mic in front of his face, and then when he's done, he pulls it away.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
Yeah, I
You
need
gotta
a,
get-
I need
you
a drum
guy.
tech to
Yeah.
just.
And swinging it in and out.
You need a guy to do that.
Well, I've seen the like. Oh gosh, what are those like the mics that have the bendy thing?
Oh, gooseneck.
Yeah, the gooseneck. Like those are the nice.
Yeah.
Every now and then the gooseneck mic. I'm like, man, I should invest in this. Yeah.
Oh, Portnoy does that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, it's like I always had respect for what was his name, Brand from Mastodon, because he'll sing like
Yeah,
full lead
that's
vocals, and he's a
Crazy to
monster
me.
on the drums.
Yeah, he really is. That's crazy to me.
I don't understand how you do all that with your body and then still have enough
can do
mental
it.
capacity to sing a full song.
It's just practice.
No, I'm not coordinated enough.
Yeah.
It's practice, but it is. I will say that I've done it a couple times now, and I do feel pretty confident saying that there are some songs that it's much better for me to sing and play guitar up front because it helps my vocal performance
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
be
that's the
able
whole
to
thing. You want
access.
the whole thing to be like, okay, I
Yeah.
know you're in a band and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
it's still you. That's
Yes, and it is.
sorry, Dan. Get back there. Anyway,
It is, and it is important at the end of the day. And this is a conversation that came up in mastering, in mixing. It always comes up, being both a multi-instrumentalist and a person who plays many instruments and parts. Mixer and master engineers always like, we want to hear your vocals. Stop thinking about the
I
drums.
said that to you,
Stop
same thing.
I know. Stop thinking about the guitar. People they want to hear your story and they want to hear your vocals. And that was the first thing the mastering engineer said to me. He said, the first song, he's like, these guitars are way too loud. I'm like, really? That's what's carrying the song? He's like, I want to hear you. I want to hear the lyrics. I'm like, okay.
Yep.
That's what I don't want people to hear.
It's awesome that you're a team player.
Yeah.
But again, okay,
I
so let me
know.
segue into this whole little thing here. So we're talking about this. So when you went and were getting these songs ready to record,
Mm-hmm.
when you brought them to the rest of the band
Mm-hmm.
or whoever, was it, this is what you're playing, or here's what I got, like give it your flavor, but you still kind of have to approve it. Is
Well-
it your show? It's a band. I
Yeah,
get it. And
yeah.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but it's like,
No, it's okay.
there's people out there that are like, no, this is my show.
It's a mix. Now, the thing is when we're recording, it's really just me and Dan.
Okay.
Because I always let Dan do his thing. Every now
That's a
and then.
mistake. You shouldn't do that. Anyway.
Every now and then
And I said that, Dan. Yes, Jeff Columba actually said that. Okay, God.
every now and then I'll tell Dan, oh my God, I hear this bass line. And he'll be like, okay, this is sweet. I love this. And then he'll do it and then he'll do his thing. And like, I'll be like, this little verse here. But I'd say 90% of the time I let him do his thing. Other players, I'm super particular about the guitar parts I write. So like, I mean, Eric came in and we laid down the lead guitar for Cruel, Cruel, Cruel. And that was very much so a collaborative thing. I told him what I wanted and he's like, okay, let me try this out. And then like in the chorus, I had specific harmonies I wanted. So he laid up, but he added his flavor. And then like other songs, like he did the same thing with Acceptance, but with Acceptance too, the whole song, I wrote the main guitar riff, which is where the song started. So I would say, yeah, when we're recording, it always starts with me and Dan, and then it's like pulling in. Yeah, I would say for the most part, a lot of the ideas, it's like me working out with the producer or.
So you're driving the
I'm
ship.
in the driver's seat.
So,
Yeah.
okay, with that being said, and
She only yells when she has to.
I would actually be interested to see her yell. Anyway.
Oh, I don't know that you want to see that.
Well, it wouldn't be me. I just want to be like fly on the wall. So like saying that, it's like having, you're writing the ship. So then, yeah, in all honesty, in a live performance aspect, I would sit there and be like, yeah, that's cool. She could play drums and sing, but man, if she was fronting that band, it'd be pretty badass.
Well,
You
yeah,
know.
and I'm finding the balance of how to front the band from behind the kit. But like, yeah, I think sometimes, and like, this guy JT Sofo has been playing with us. I know that obviously Matt, you've jammed with him before. He's amazing.
He'll be in here soon with Speaker Rats.
Yeah,
Okay,
and he's in another band called Speaker Rats. And JT and I have been talking about how, well, we both really want to play. There's a lot of the songs all the songs on the record have two electric guitars on each song. And there's very specific parts, whether it's rhythm and lead or a mixture of two leads together. Like Thin Lizzy's one of my favorite bands. There's a lot of like
Harmonized guitar licks. And,
exactly. And things that when we play live will sort of extend and solo and continue. So like we've been writing other parts of old songs or old parts that like I'll be like, what do you hear here? Like I sort of have the basic foundations of the songs, right? And he's coming in now after the record's been made too. So he's learned the parts, and then I just kind of am like, okay, you learn the basic part, and then we can change things here or there if it makes sense, or let's make this an extended solo, or how about we jam on this? And it gives a little bit more of like freedom for everyone to do their thing. And moving forward into the next batch of songs, like we're already talking about writing new songs and writing together, because it is important to me. I want to do more things on a collaborative way. It's hard when you have your own vision. And it's a balance you have to strike between being a control freak and giving everyone room to do their thing and trust that, but
sometimes all you need is the captain of the ship to say, do your job.
Yeah.
And how's that feel when somebody does that to you?
Shut the fuck up.
Okay,
Right?
go ahead. Never mind.
Is that your role in the band?
I am
Me and
the
him fight all
vocal
the
one
time.
of just, nah, don't do that. That's not a great idea.
We talk about this all the time. 'Cause I write bass lines like a lead guitar player.
That's cool.
And he always says, that's really cool, but we're only going to play like half of the notes you just put out there.
Okay.
So
She just spoke of that before.
And then
where
I
it's like it's
add a
trying to
couple
find.
back in when he's not looking.
Or you find a section where you can jam a little bit more or play a little bit more.
Do I not always give you one spot?
We find a happy medium. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
That's what it's all about,
As long as it sounds good in the end. That's
yeah,
all.
That's all that
exactly.
matters.
It's all about the song at the end of the day. It's
Oh,
really
yeah.
about what serves the song.
Yep.
Like I just happen to be a guitar player and a drummer, so I hear a lot of parts, and then it's hard for me to unhear when things. It's hard. Like unless I'm right at the songwriting process at the beginning, which again I'm a lot more open at this point because I have players and guys with me that, I really trust them, and that's a huge thing. It's just like because it's like a camaraderie thing. We're like a family,
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'm already working on new songs and writing with other people, and
The album's not even out yet.
I know
Okay, so
Need to get
now
out.
you have it all done.
it's all done.
Okay.
That's one of the things we talk about too in the age of the TikTok and
Yeah.
and all that is no one puts out albums anymore.
No.
It's, there's a lot of bands that only put out singles.
Yeah.
And they just like, one a month or one every other month and just constantly release new
Yeah.
stuff, but never put out, like they might put out like 10 songs as singles and then say like, oh, these collections is an album. But
Yeah.
like, albums are a rare thing these days.
Yeah. Well, and originally I went into the concept of this record as just songs. And I kind of got like, not that I got talked out of releasing it as just singles, but it did make sense as a body of work as a record.
Yes. I mean, yes.
Yeah.
But is that really today's standard?
That's why I'm going to push the singles as much as I can.
Okay.
And if I can, I mean, I would do the whole record and keep releasing songs. And it's just like, but what I've heard from everyone, of all of my contacts in PR, radio, and in the industry is that after 3 singles, people start losing interest.
Yeah.
I don't really know if that's true, but
Because they figure, I mean, how many bands now are writing a full album worth of, well, hits?
yeah, I think most people are just putting out songs.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
you guys are just putting out. Are you guys putting out a record? You have a single coming out.
We
like,
have like
tomorrow.
pretty much an entire record recorded, but
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
do,
but
we,
it's all
but it's
piecemeal.
more of like our project's more of just like a side fun project.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, we're older now.
we're
It
old
doesn't
and
matter.
beaten down. We don't have that drive
I definitely
anymore.
feel beaten down. I'm like, fuck the industry. I definitely every other day I'm like, fuck this. I'm over this. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm a fucking artist. I didn't get in this to make TikToks. It drags me down. I'm like,
Well, here's the thing.
you want to get real talk? We could talk about how much. Yeah.
Well,
anyway, sorry.
if
Go for it.
it's literally is like, okay, you're an artist.
Yeah.
You made a record,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. You're no longer an artist.
Right.
Now
Exactly.
you're in business.
Right. And I'm all about business, but what is happening in my life now is that I'm so bogged down by all of the logistical work that I have to do. And like same thing, I'm like trying to book all my shows and I'm like it's like I'm still trying to figure out, we have like 2 show offers for like a show next week that I'm like, I still don't know which one we're doing, because it's like I can only really deal with like what's right in front of me. And it's been like trying to get everything together for this record release, and then like it's like we got to book shows for the fall. Everybody's booking like 6 months ahead. It's like, oh my God. It feels like this constant hamster wheel of like gotta do, and like and if you're not, there's like all these people behind you doing it and you're seeing them on social media doing it. So it's just like breeding this FOMO and this competition. I'm like, what is this? Like, where's the balance? Where's the life fit in? It's
There is no balance.
No.
Because you got the example, like you're still got that drive and that dedication, and you're pushing and you're pushing.
I'm crazy.
And then the next step is me. I'm like, I'm not going to do shit, but I'm still going to do it for fun. And then you get to this grumpy old bastard who's like, fuck this, burn it all to the ground.
That's how I
Start
feel.
it over. I fucking hate this.
That'll be me tomorrow in the morning. Burn it down to the ground. I'm done with this. No, but you know what? But you make a good point of like, and I was on the phone with my lawyer today where he's like, you still got to have fun. Like, you're doing this to have fun. It's not worth it for you to put these insane like deadlines on yourself. Like if you can't get X, Y, or Z like locked in by this date, it's okay. Like, you're doing the best that you can.
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
the point I got
The
to.
fun part, though, you're already done doing the fun.
Well,
So
I
the
enjoy
record's
playing the
done,
shows,
and that's
though.
fun. Yes.
So that is fun
and then
for
the
me,
shows
too.
will be that too. So everything else is work.
Yeah. It's for me, it's just time. Like, I'm more than happy to do the work, but it's also just like time. And then how are you making money? And at some, having a day job too.
Because music doesn't make money.
No,
There's
it
no money in the
doesn't.
music
Being a rock
business.
musician, I say it now, is like being an oil painter. You're like, well, fuck. What? Like, where?
Don't you just say happy little trees?
You got Spotify, and Spotify's like, here's your 4/10 of a penny.
Right? Exactly.
Oh, wait.
Exactly. And when I tell people that, they're like floored. I'm like, yeah, that is why
yeah.
the industry is
Stupid.
dead now, because you get 0.0004 or whatever cents per play.
Yes. How's that Spotify thing going?
I didn't sign up for it. We
Oh,
are still
you don't?
Spotify free.
Not for long, I bet.
I know. I hate to sound so cynical. I feel like I'm like bringing us down the.
Oh, I hashtag everything
Oh.
for us. Like, well, fuck Spotify. I hate Spotify. I'm like, I rail against
It's
it
crazy.
all the time. But if now I'm
bet
getting
he
to the
just
point-
texted me.
He's
I'm
been
gonna
beating
go-
me down, and I'm finally like, yeah, it is kind of withholding us from people that could be seeing us.
Yeah.
But I'm like, fuck them.
It's only really for exposure. I mean, I don't know. It is important to get your music out there, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
I mean, we don't make money off this podcast anyway.
no,
so
it's actually just for fun.
we're not going to make
You
any
gotta
more
just
if we
do
go to
it for the
Spotify.
love. All of it's just for the love.
Yeah.
That's what it got to. Is we were
You have so much to learn, young one.
me and him have been playing for a long time together too. But right when COVID hit, we
Yeah.
were just like, fuck, what do we do now?
No,
And then we started this whole thing. We just kind of pieced it together with like just equipment we had lying around and started bringing
Yeah.
bands in.
Yeah.
And
It's
we
tough.
enjoy it. It's a
Yeah.
breath of fresh air
Of
for
course,
us.
yeah. You get to connect with people.
Yeah, we get to see all different
Yeah.
walks and different genres coming through
Yeah.
here. And we had one band that's like a spaghetti western with 2 upright basses.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then another band's like they don't use electricity and all they use like hand drums and it's just like 9 people and they all
Whoa.
just jam and
So awesome.
yeah, we get to see some cool shit.
Sometimes. And then we
Yeah.
get to talk to nice people like you. And
Oh, thanks.
then I feel bad when you leave and I'm like, was I an asshole? Did I impose my
No,
hardened
please.
shell?
I know I seem very, but
It just seems so happy.
if you knew my inner, you should listen to my record because it's like, fuck. It's just,
Oh, so when's that coming out?
I don't know yet.
Oh, see, there you go.
I think we're shooting
Wrong
for
question.
February. I think we're shooting for February, but you know what? Look, I'm gonna say it like this. Again, I have like my publicist, my lawyer telling me like, don't rush it. We're gonna do it the right way. I mean, hopefully, like we're pushing to have the first single out by mid-August.
Okay.
Which I'm super stoked on. Like I know once music starts rolling out, I'll feel good. But yeah, I mean, it's hard. Like I've been feeling very discouraged, and I've talked to all my other artist friends. I was just in LA talking to my friend, and he's a musician, and he went out there to to try and make moves, and he's making moves, but it's like everybody feels the same way. Like we're all artists who care about our art and the genuine nature of what we do because we love it, and it's like innate in us. It's like this is like I'm a lifer. Like if I'm not playing music, I'm dead.
Yeah.
And I hate to sound so dramatic. And my mom's like, okay, what's the plan B? Not that she's not supportive, but she sees how much it like tears me apart. I'm like, Mom, there is no plan. Like this is it. Like if I'm not playing music, I will not be happy. I mean, I have to find fulfillment elsewhere and make sure there's like the balance. But it's just like, I don't know, I guess continuing to tell myself and surround myself with like the right people, because otherwise like it'll just kind of gnaw at you.
Yeah.
I can never play guitar for her. It sucks. She just told me I can't do it. Just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
No.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
Even though Dan would probably say, yeah, no.
I mean, I know you also probably think I'm way younger than I am because everyone thinks I'm much younger than I am.
Oh, you look like you're 17. So.
Wow, what did I say before? My guess was like late 20s.
Okay,
I
I love this
have
game.
no
How old
fucking
do you
idea.
think I am?
42.
I'm 33.
Ah, it's close.
Price is Right rules, I win.
No, yeah.
No, I mean, and it's just a number. 'Cause
Yeah.
looking at you, you don't look like that. But don't.
Well, the hardest part is you get beaten down.
Yeah.
You know that your only outlets to try to make it
Yeah.
are only going to take advantage of you and pay you like shit, and they're going to make more money off your music than you are.
Yeah, I think for me, like, it's just like I want to get my music out there to people, and I want people to hear it. And because I like to think that I am this adversary, and like I feel like because I write a lot about the human condition, as like all of us do in relationships, but I feel like I've been given this like ability to communicate my emotions in a way that most people are going through their everyday lives and kind of like, not that they're oblivious, but especially now in today's day and age where like we're being shown how to think every step of the way. Mm-hmm. Like I think people are like feeling things, but they're not necessarily able to understand how or what it is. And I think that's why people relate to music so much, right? Because people who aren't artists and like these like exposed like live wires to the world.
Well, it gives them an outlet for their emotions to go through your music.
Exactly.
And then they're like, oh, she gets me.
Exactly.
You know?
Like I would like to think, because I feel alone all the time, and when you listen to my lyrics, like a lot of it's like self-soothing. A lot of it is me trying to tell myself, like, this whole record, Acceptance, is about self-love. Like that, the word, I think all of life comes down to gratitude and acceptance, and that song is about your relationship with yourself, and it's about spinning your wheel so much and just feeling so fucking crazy, like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why can't I figure this out? To the point where you're like, wait a minute, I don't need anything else other than this inside to figure out the answers to everything I need, you know? And it's like really hard. Like I literally have to tell myself every day to like accept circumstances and be like, that's why I wrote a song about it. Cause it's like, you know, like figure it out. Like don't forget, like you gotta accept it. You have no control, but still I struggle with it on a regular basis. So my hope is that I can get the music out. And like you said, people will relate to it and feel something and be like, oh, wow. Oh, thank you. I feel less alone in whatever endeavors it is, because I don't know. It's just, otherwise, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Well, like you said, there's a lot of people that connect to your music on like an emotional level, and I don't get people that don't. Like for me, oh, easy over there.
Whoa.
Oh, today's been the
little
best day. You
excited.
know what? I'm sober.
That's
really what it is. This is why we
A
always
little
do
jumpy
Mondays.
when you're sober. Just kidding.
I'm just.
I'm just kidding.
But like I said,
Uncoordinated.
some people just listen to music and it just doesn't hit them, and I feel bad for those people
Me
because
too.
the connection I have with music is like, I feel
Yeah.
it. Like when a certain part hits or a certain a lyric,
Yeah.
like it hits you in the chest.
Exactly.
And it's a beautiful thing.
I agree.
Does it?
It does.
Does it?
Not
I've
anything
never
you
heard
do.
you talk like that ever.
Fuck you. All right?
Whatever.
Cocksucker.
Last time, don't touch my buttons. Stop now.
They're actually my
Wow.
buttons.
Yeah,
is a whole
I'm the one that drives. I'm the one driving the car.
All right, fine.
Okay.
Oh, it's like that.
I say I drive
you.
the car. Hooper drives the boat.
Oh, I see how it is.
Oh my
So
God.
where can people find you?
I use Instagram the most.
Okay.
It's just my full name, which I'm sure like you guys will have written.
Yeah.
Okay. Rachel Ana Dobken. That's my full name.
It just
I-
kinda
Is
rolls
that
off
and
the
that's
tongue.
how
Rachel
you go
Anna
out
Dobken.
like that, right? Like so it's, or is it like the Rachel Anna Dobken band? or-
No, I've actually been really trying to rebrand to just Rad. Like usually when we play shows, because my initials are Rad, I'll just say Rad. But
Go ahead, sorry.
it's how people actually kind of know us now. Why? Why are you laughing? Are you gonna mock me? Come on, I
No,
want to hear
I'm
it.
not
Spit
gonna.
it
I would
out.
never
Rachel
mock
Anna
a
Dobken
guest.
sounds so much
Wait.
fancier.
I would never mock a guest.
Okay.
No. There was an old, what was it, a bike or skate movie called Rad.
Oh yeah,
So that's the first thing I went
that's
to.
cool.
Sorry.
I'm into that.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's
sweet.
kind of cool.
That was like the 80s. You're
I
going
think
way
you
back.
should. I think you should still keep it your name. If you want to throw the band thing in front of it, that'd be cool. But
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we do. It's like Rachel and Adopkin band, but I just think like for branding and the sort of market that I would like my music to be associated or like understood. It's amazing how these like little things actually make a difference.
But you are the captain of the ship.
yeah.
So
See, and now we're just like everybody else beating it into her head. Be like, yeah, just it's yours.
no, it's okay. It's a thing because it's like also people know me as Rachel and Adopkin, and it's a lot easier to find that on one regard, but in other regards, like people don't know how to spell my name or they don't remember as easier as they would. It's just
But another
Rad,
constant thing
but-
that we've had brought up in the last couple weeks, Rad. When you go, if you just Google Rad, you're never going to come up.
Well, that's another thing. The Google situation.
Yes.
That's
You will never be found because we had a band. One band was called Roulette. You think that's going to come up on a Google search? Absolutely not. Absolutely.
Yeah,
not.
I don't know. So it's a fine line. Like on social media, on Instagram, a lot of times I will say Rad, or when I make graphics, I'll say Rad. And people will know what that is when it's associated
Yeah,
with my name.
because yeah,
Yeah, or when it's associated with my picture. Like people start understanding, or like on my bio and Instagram, it says Rad. Like full name, Rachel Ann Dobkin, and then Rad.
Parentheses. That's my
yeah.
name.
So
bitch.
that's like you could your record could be your name and then the name of the record could be
Right.
Rad, or whatever.
Or
it
some
wants to be.
exactly,
Yeah.
and that's been a conversation I've also had with some people on my team as well. And yeah, so I don't know, but I do go by how you find me as Rachel Anna Dobkin. That's me on Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, blah blah blah.
Oh, that just broke my concentration. But yeah, so it's Rad. That's cool.
Yeah. And follow me on Instagram is the best way to find out, like when we have, and Spotify, I would say, when we have new music coming out. And
Just follow her everywhere.
Yeah, should.
yes, exactly.
Buy her music.
Yes.
That's
As
the
you have
key.
other things out now.
I do. I have my last LP, which came out in 2018. Unfortunately, it's way too long ago. That's why I need to put music out. Stressing me out. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, I have an LP out, which came out in 2018. When It Happens to You. Then I have an EP, which came out in 2016. It's called Detach. It's all online.
Okay.
I have a demo that's out there floating. It's like there's like 3 songs that are absolutely fucking terrible, and I'm like, this needs to come down. I need to call someone at
And I
CD
can't
Baby.
find it.
I'm like, why am I taking this? It's just a massive to-do list. Take these down. It's just me in like college when I was recording for the first time. It just doesn't sound good.
So it's not just you though. We released one single in April of 2020.
Yeah.
And
Just for a while.
our second single comes out tomorrow.
That's great. You're still beating me. 2018. It's okay.
Yeah, but we only got 2 songs over 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're fucking, busy people.
Yeah, it's true. That is true.
Yeah, it's listen, one thing at a time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, but like I feel that like I've put my time in of doing, records to whatever else, and that was fun. But now, and I'll still do it, but it's not important. You know,
he
what I
does it
mean?
because I'm like, come on, Jeff, come on.
Everybody's
Jeff.
like, come on, let's go. No, leave me alone.
Well, it's good that you're still doing it.
I still do
It
it,
is important.
as you can tell.
It is important.
But that's great. We're in summertime.
Yeah.
How about shows?
Okay. Tons of shows. Okay.
Tons of shows.
I would stick to August.
Stick to August.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be announcing. I have to go home and finish my summer tour graphic when I leave here.
Okay.
And I'll be announcing those shows probably tomorrow morning. So next, well, this isn't coming out before July 16th, right? Because we have New York City show.
No.
Okay. August. We have August 3rd, and this will all be on my socials. Asbury Lanes. August 12th, we're playing Music Fest in Bethlehem, PA. You
Nice.
guys know that festival?
Yeah, get the fuck out of
Super
here as
stoked.
much as you can. Oh, go ahead.
Exactly. Then we're playing Philly on the 18th of August. Then we're
Okay.
playing upstate New York the 19th of August. Garwood Crossroads the 26th of August. The Haverford Music Festival in September. We have some other things in September that I can't announce just yet. But yeah. So if you
Follow her on the
me-
socials.
Yeah.
Yes, and I have some working on New York for hopefully September. New York City, Brooklyn. I do have some New York stuff in July, so
Cool.
yeah.
No, that's awesome though.
Yeah.
So you're gigging it. You're doing it. You're just
I'm trying. I want more shows. That's like my goal right now is like get as many shows as possible, get out of Asbury Park, 'cause that's our hometown, and
yeah, I'd live too.
Yeah, play as much as possible in the surrounding areas, New York, Philly, Baltimore, DC,
yeah.
make it down, just
Well, we
with-
talk all the time. Jersey itself is just it's dead.
yeah.
You know, it's there's nothing to it anymore.
Yeah, Asbury, like people think there's a scene there. It's just changed a lot. Like it kind of.
Sorry, God. I love Asbury. Go ahead.
Wait a minute. Are we joking about this?
What's that?
About New Jersey right now?
No.
Is this a
No.
joke?
Oh, no,
Because I
never.
realize this is a Jersey podcast. So
No, we talk about it all the time. About
Yeah.
about how-
Jersey Shore
probably
Musicians
shouldn't do that.
podcast. Okay, I should stop talking. You should probably
no,
cut
it's
that.
fine.
no, we said we
totally
talk all the time about how Asbury's mainly predominantly cover bands,
Yeah, it's really
tribute
weird.
bands,
It's just really
and
weird.
if you don't fit a certain mold, you don't play.
It's weird. It's definitely bizarre. And when I was so I used to work for Danny Clinch. I was the original music director at the Transparent Gallery. I actually
Yeah,
made that a
true.
venue for Danny. It was not, and I came in and he sort of had an idea about, I want this to be like a hang for musicians, come and play. And I was like, well, I know a bunch of musicians around here. I can help you put together shows. And he was like, that'd be great. So we had one show, Light of Day, of 2017, and it turned into, oh, wow, this is an entire, then it was like once a month, twice a month, every week. And it was like, wow, now we're a music venue. Wow, now we're like this melting pot for like culture and arts and music in Asbury Park. And it was like, oh, wow, now see here, now's happening. Like it was the gallery. Do you guys know the Transparent Clinch
Yeah.
Gallery? That was only supposed to be open for 6 months as a pop-up in 2016 to 2017. We kept getting extended because all these cool things were happening. And then we have like Danny would invite his famous friends over. Robert Randolph's playing the Pony for Music and Film Fest. He comes over at midnight. We're jamming with him till 2 a.m. These things are happening.
Yeah.
G-Love comes into town. Danny's like, Rachel, you want to play? My friend Garrett, G-Love is playing tonight. He's coming by the gallery before. I was like, yeah, of course. So I'm playing drums and Danny and G-Love are playing harmonica and guitar and like dueling it out. It's like crazy. So all these things start happening. See Here Now starts happening. The whole of Asbury Park starts becoming, this is the hottest place. And everybody get to Asbury. And now it's just kind of like,
McMansions.
Well, everybody got to Asbury, bought places, and
Yeah.
they don't want to hear that music.
or they like artists can't really even afford to live there. And then it's like places like the Saint are like not really happening anymore. And it's like, you can only, like we just played the Wonder Bar on the 25th of June. It was great. Awesome show. But it was really hard to even just like nail all that down. It was a 4-band bill because there's not even because of the venue, but because there's nowhere in town where you can just like bring a touring band and just play a show at the Saint where there's not like this crazy pressure to sell tickets and make sure. It's just so weird. And it is it is also the climate of the music industry right now. All these small venues closing post-COVID. Like, it's just a lot of this shifting. But Asbury's, like, I love Asbury. It's great. It's been wonderful to me. I love Danny and the Transparent Gallery. That's been amazing. That's been such, like, a special thing, and it still is a special thing. But, yeah, like, between, like, 2017, 2018, there was so much going on. as there was, right? They kind of say it like comes and goes in waves,
Ebbs and flows.
like every 3 years or something. But like then COVID happened, and I don't know. It's just
Never came back the right
The
way.
Wonder Bar just sold their whole outside section to get more condos up in there.
did they really?
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, where?
Where the dog park side was.
They're selling where
It's
the
sold.
Sold, not selling. Sold.
This is news to me. So like no more Yappy Hour?
No.
Yeah.
How are they? They're gonna build a condo right on top of the venue?
Selling for millions of dollars.
Yep. It's all
That's
about
like
the
me
money.
as a hard rock and like metal kind of guy. Like I can go to Bond Street basement or sell my soul to like the House of Independence or the Pony.
I know.
That's really it.
I know. And those are huge rooms. There's a big difference between playing to 150 people at Bond Street and then the expectation of selling 600 tickets at the Pony.
Oh, 100%.
And it's like, that's fine. Like, you know, whatever. That's time and work and everything. But it's like, and then you have Ticketmaster.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, I mean, I found that I do more in this industry just connecting with other DIY artists who are trying to do the same thing and are just super cool, awesome people.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
show swaps, like trying to get info about venues in other markets. Like just, I don't know. It is nice that like they exist out and they all exist out there, but it's like, I guess all of us trying to rise the ship together.
The
Yeah.
tide rises all ships, yeah, but sometimes it's really fucking hard to rise that tide.
Yeah, it's like getting out of your market. I'm sorry.
Right.
Has this conversation been just so? Is anyone gonna want to listen? This is like so
That'll be-
cynical.
Yeah.
Well, that's,
We're all gonna die.
We talk about the real side of it, like
Yeah.
like what
That's-
like the
yeah.
bullshit that we endure to go out there and play for people.
Exactly.
You know, because some people will show up and then they'll mock you or say some stupid shit, but you don't see the other 3/4 of it. That all the hard work it takes you to get there to play for those people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the bullshit you got to put up with along the way.
It's true. I guess my question, I'm going to throw this question to you guys, like, how do you stay sane in all this and make sense of like why this matters? And
I have a couple questions. I have a couple answers to that.
I'll
yeah,
go
you can
first
go
and
first.
say that I don't do it to make it.
yeah,
I do it because I love music.
exactly.
And I want to play music and I want to see. I love being on a stage and watching someone connect with my music.
Yeah, 100%.
That's my payoff.
Yeah.
And I don't need anything more than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, shut
I
up.
don't even want to answer now. Like, do you want my 20-something-year-old answer when I was like gigging and doing everything and touring and shit?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
No, give the answer now. Burn it down.
Oh, well, that's today. Today's like, oh man, it's just not my game. I'm
Yeah.
older now, and I just like I like helping people in the studio, or I fix things, speakers and shit. But I can't even give advice to people anymore because it's like,
It is a completely different
yeah,
climate.
you know. No, but no, seriously, like it's just I even a couple younger people that have come in. I'm just like, man, that shit worked 20 years ago.
It's just different.
I don't know how it's gonna work for you now.
Yeah, and it's just again, I've had conversations with industry people. I had a really good conversation with someone who was saying that he's really like, two people have told me this, but him specifically, he said like, you really got to be on TikTok. Like nobody will look at you. You can't get a booking agent unless you're on TikTok. You will if you build it, they will come mentality of social media essentially.
Okay.
Now that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Even someone high up, I had like an industry meeting with someone who's was working at, I'm not going to say what label, but he was saying that they don't even have budget for video production anymore. Their budget is for TikTok.
You hear that,
Yeah.
Cranston Dean?
Oh yeah,
Oh, I
Cranston.
love Cranston.
We had him
yeah.
on here a
He's
couple
my
weeks ago.
dude.
And he's like, fuck TikTok.
I
He's
know.
like, no, I'm never going to have a TikTok. That's why everybody should make a Cranston Dean TikTok.
Oh, I
They're making
love
good
Cranston.
We want at
I've
least-
played with him a bunch.
We want like 30 to 40 different Cranston Dean TikToks all sent to him.
I've played drums with him so many gigs, and
Oh,
you know
that's
what?
cool.
We've never rehearsed. Cranston is my dude. He's one of those guys that like, I went on like a short tour with him, like 2019 summer. That like I've only ever practiced with him through playing gigs live with him.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
I'll just sit
So
in and we'll play.
you sit there and you're pretty much like a player where you're gonna go play. and
100%.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Good for you. Like that makes me very happy.
And
for
I
you.
want to play more. Like I was playing in this band Low Cut Connie for a minute. I was touring with them last summer. I was kind of an auxiliary player, but like no, I mean I would love to play. I just want to like play with as many people, like spread my seed out there, get my music out there, connect and collaborate with people. Like that's what I'm trying to do. Like I don't even care. Like to me, success is like there's a part of it that is for me being acknowledged for my work and being respected for my talents as a musician and as a person. I'm not even gonna say as a woman because I don't even like buy into that. I'm just like, you're a person.
Yeah.
It's not about being man or woman. It's not about being black or white.
Yeah.
Right. You are a musician and you just put in your time. And for me, I just put myself and align myself with people that like respect and understand that and respect and understand me for the work I put in and the person I am. And I don't have problems, knock on wood. Do every now and then. But I just kind of don't feed it. I have great people around me that I play with, that I work with, that I want to play with. Anyway, but like for me, it's just like, I just want to succeed. I want to get out there. I want to be more than just being in Asbury Park or New Jersey because for me, it's not about just being in the, it's not just about being like, for me, my goals were never just like, I want to be in Asbury Park. I want to be in the fucking world.
That's
right.
Because we run across a lot of Asbury bands, and we've had a lot of them on here, and a lot of them are like, oh, we're pretty big in the Asbury scene, and we try to relay the fact like you're a shark in a very little pond. Very little pond.
Yes.
It's like there's a whole big
world.
ocean out there.
So I was in LA last week. I got an opportunity to play a gig, and I was like, fuck it. I'm taking it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going. I'm meeting musicians. That's I think the positive of what we do is like being able to put yourself out there and meet people and connect with people, like not just the fans, but the artists. I think all of it, but it's like, yeah, for me, that is what would be success for me. I mean, I want to tour. I want to play festivals. I want to be a band like My Morning Jacket. That's like kind of what I equate my sound to is like the female My Morning Jacket meets Amy Winehouse because like my voice is kind of jazzy. And when it's more on the electric side of things, it can be more on the jazzy side, but also on the heavier side. But it's finding that balance because like you were saying, vocals are really important. It can't just be like this. But I don't know. I just kind of go with where my heart is at. Right now, my heart's been in a much more heavier musical place than it has
Nothing
been
wrong
before.
with
It'll always change.
Yeah,
It'll always change.
exactly. Like that's really what interests me right now.
I think she's a prime candidate for the project we keep talking about but never do.
What is that?
We want to do where we just bring in, it's either going to be write a song or take a cover song and deconstruct it and make it in your own version, but just take random musicians like a drummer and a
Hell
singer
yeah.
and a guitar player that never even met each other.
Love
just
that.
stick them in the studio,
Hell yeah.
lock the door and be like, you got 3 hours.
I love that.
Let's see what happens.
Call me up. That's the shit I love.
Yeah, just spontaneous. Just throw a bunch of different, people with different flavors in the room and see where it goes.
Like I love everything. I want to play and like when I was in Brooklyn, I played in like this really heavy like doom psych rock band that was 2 guitars and drums. It was like fucking wild. It was just sound, but it was awesome. Like I will play that. I love everything from like like Jeff Buckley to Thin Lizzy to like Ty Segall I always say his last name to like the band in Incubus. And like I studied jazz. That's how I understand music. It's not what I want to play. But like and Pink Floyd. Like Pink Floyd's one of my favorite bands of all time. Like hands down. So but also like yeah, I love Mastodon and like there's like metal bands and more heavier rock. I love Sabbath. Like there's these I just kind of hear there's so much good music out there. And it's like it's exciting to me. But it's just all the fucking bullshit that you gotta get through.
There's
You
always
gotta get through the bullshit.
I'm just going. I know it's true. Everything in
You
life.
never escape the bullshit.
No,
ever.
it's true. It's true. So anyway.
All right.
So get her in there into the studio, have her play a couple tunes for us.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Got one more question for you.
Okay.
If you could change one thing about the local music scene, one singular thing, what would it be and why?
Okay. I just feel like there needs to be, in a nutshell, places in the community where like bands can come, not have to like can sell cheap tickets, can have like a community hub to bring other artists in so that they can get out and also expand their markets.
Yeah, and you also don't have the stress of like 50 ticket minimums or 100
Exactly.
ticket minimums or
Exactly. And I think that like I don't know, because right now the way that the scene is it's just not, it's not really in the favor of the artist or in favor of the artist like trying to succeed outside of the region.
Yeah, well, the other problem is everything is so expensive these days. It's
Exactly.
hard to maintain a place like that.
Exactly.
And keep a consistent cash flow going through if you're being that good to the
100%.
bands.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm thinking like maybe it has to be like a community hub. Like maybe it's something that's not just music, but it's like also studio spaces, or it's something like where people can throw a photography show or like a house show, right? Like I think like, I don't know, there seems to be a lacking of a place where like artists can kind of have a safe space to, maybe it's another gallery, you know, where people can just, it can be a small room and where artists get like 100% of the door or something, a business that already exists that can also help the artist. There just feels like community hubs in the scene don't necessarily exist, but it also, again, I'm thinking about this in terms of like a more like, how can we get out of town bands in, and how can we help the bands here get out of the scene? There are some bands that maybe don't want to do that. I have a different goal. I have different plans, but I think bringing it back down always to the community level, because that's what art needs to thrive. I think that's where I'm getting with this long-winded answer. Because it doesn't feel like there's much of a community in Asbury right now. It's very, very touristy, which is fine. There's people around. That's great. That's good for all the businesses. And that's also good for like playing shows where hopefully people will show from out of town. But
not if you're not the one playing in front of them.
I know.
Because those guys don't want to see original music. Those guys are going to go see the Bruce tributes and whatever else. So.
I think too it would be good for, okay, I just think anything community oriented. Happy Mondays. They brought Happy Mondays back. Thank fucking God. Happy Mondays is great. It is now like one of the only places that you can bring an out of town touring band in that's not gonna like, oh my God, be so stressful. Like I put this 4-band build together at the Wonder Bar at the end of June. We had a New York band, but it was so much work. It was so much work. And then it was like, oh, we're not selling consignment tickets anymore, so they have to either buy at the box office or online. But I had a $15 ticket price point, and online it was $19.50 because of Ticketmaster fees. So it's like all these little things that are like, why are you trying? And it's not the venue. Like the venue was, they're like, don't just buy at the box office. We don't, but that's what Ticketmaster is now. So I think finding a space that could be community driven, maybe not just music, because you make such a good point about we got to keep the lights on, and that's the problem is like just having.
You got to find a way to pull some of the hands out of the cookie jar.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to know your opinion on that. I mean, what do you think is the answer or the solution to that problem, or do you not want to share?
Yeah, because you'll just edit mine out. So
I've come to learn that Jeff's right on a lot of it. You usually got to burn the fucking thing down and start over.
Yeah.
Get the cancer out. And get somebody new in there that doesn't have, $12? No, 17. Not 17, 25.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, not 25, 65. Like,
yeah, I don't know. And I don't know that it's Asbury anymore. Like, let's do Long Branch.
Asbury's just,
Long Branch
I've
is
seen
great.
that before. Tom's River was they're seaside, Tom's River, Ocean County, whatever.
Yeah.
Was very like that.
Interesting.
And then it became a tourist spot.
Yeah.
And
then
tribute bands and the cover bands
condos and fancy bars and all this, and that was it. It just ate itself.
Yeah.
And Asbury's very quickly doing the
I
same
know.
thing.
I see that.
Everybody does now.
I know.
And I called it 10 years ago.
All my friends, I know, a lot of my friends, I won't name names, but like some of the guys that have been around town for a while who have very strong opinions about it. But like, I feel like, I don't know, a place like Long Branch, somewhere where there's like, or like place where there can be house shows. I just think.
Yeah, but they're saying Long Branch is going to get built up just like Asbury.
You think Broadway though? Like that, like
yeah, but
they
I'm
have
saying that's like the next on the list.
I
It was
know.
like Red Bank, then Asbury, and now Long Branch is starting to rebuild. So you could do it there, but it would be phased out within a matter of, 8 to 10 years.
Yeah. I think the solution is like to have a bunch of other artists come together and do something that's like a collaborative space.
Yeah.
Because I don't see how, like, it has to be about the community, and it has to be about like, it has to be like many people coming together on a same page
Yeah,
thing.
but it's probably going to piss people off me saying this, but in today's day and age, most people are like, fuck everybody else.
I
I'm
know.
taking care of me.
And it's hard because it's stressful and there's only enough hours in the day. And cost of living, you just were saying, everything is so expensive.
Well, that's kind of why we started this, was just to bring like a community aspect to it.
I love that.
I tell every band that comes in here, the more you share your podcast from us, you're giving access for that person to see every other band we've ever had on here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's great, and I feel the same way. And I think there is something. This is a positive of social media, and there's something not to be taken lightly. Is that we have the access and ability to have a community online. And I think this is part of the conversation I was having with that guy a while ago about TikTok and social media. Is that he had such a great spin on it, which he's like, you need to understand, Rachel, that you have access to millions of fans at your fingertips that never existed before. How amazing is that? He's like, if you play your cards right, and I know it's not fun, he's like, but as someone in the industry that's giving you advice, if you play your cards right and you just focus on this one thing, you will see growth, you will see fans, and you are at an advantage because you already know how to play. So many of these TikTok stars, they're getting fucking asked to play Radio City, Madison Square Garden. They have a meltdown because they don't know how to play a show because they've never played a show.
Oh,
that's what's
That's
happening.
like I looked into that one
And
that
this is
Cranston
why
was
I
telling
am
us
the
about.
way I am.
The one with the chick that sang the song about the
the
fish.
frog or fish.
And she went to
him and I
Bonnaroo.
talked about
And
that.
they went to Bonnaroo, and like, what else are you gonna play? You have one song.
Yeah.
One
right.
song.
Right. So if you play your cards right and you actually like see the system to be like, okay, this is the world we're living in now.
You
So
just gotta find a way to beat the algorithms.
and stay, and my thing is like, and just try and stay genuine. Like that's gonna be my goal with this record release. It's like, you know what? I'm not gonna sit there and be like, come get ready with me. Like, let's make a meal. Oh my God. Like, fuck that shit. I don't care. I don't want to fucking see what your day is like. Nobody cares. I don't care what you did in the weekend.
I love this chick.
I know. I see what it says. Like, I like her. That's kind of funny.
Like, fuck, it makes me it's so cringy. I'm like, no, I will figure out a way to spread the good word and put stuff out there that's meaningful, whether it's my art or something I have to say, and use it. Same thing, like for you guys, like you guys have this podcast, you have social media, you make such a good point. Yeah, all thand mates coming in and sharing it. Like, I think that's like, it sucks because I hate to think that that community only exists online now, but it does in a lot of ways exist online. So maybe it's just finding that balance of like, how can we find our communities online and then bring that into like the real world.
The only problem we run into is we see there's a definitive difference between bands. Like I'll tell them to share it and it helps, the other.
Yeah.
As of right now, I think we got like 35 episodes out.
Awesome.
It helps all those bands.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of bands that come in here like, what is your podcast going to do for me?
Yeah.
It's like we do this for nothing for people, and we just our objective is to just grow it to a point where when you come on, all these other bands are going to bring you even if it's only 5 or 10 people, it's still 5 or 10 people that never got to see you before.
And I think that that's your motive, and that's a beautiful mission statement, and just keep putting that out there, and you'll find the right people, and the rest will just like fuck them. They'll just like melt away. Hopefully,
You got to come back on again.
I will.
Maybe even bring Dan next time. That'd be better.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, I guess. And that's kind of what keeps me sane in all of this, is just being like, all right. But it's really hard because I get really affected by the noise of being like, okay, how can I put my most genuine, authentic self forward?
You should say fuck them.
Yeah.
That's all. That's it. That's all there is to it. Fuck them.
Hi, I'm Jeff. Have you met me?
I love that. It's so important.
Yeah.
It's so important. And like, again, I'm still thinking about this question you asked me. I'm going to be thinking about this because it's like, what is the solution? Is the solution just find a new scene in New Jersey? Is it
such different things?
It's cyclical. So it's gonna come up and then it's gonna crash. And then like Asbury, it's gonna go up and then it's gonna crash. And when it crashes, the artists will move back in.
Yeah.
And then the cycle repeats itself.
I think the point is like, if you're a real artist that's really trying to be successful, like you just can't stay in one place.
Oh no.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I think you got to be out like as much as possible.
Yeah.
And from like touring bands that I've known and talked to, it's New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. That's the problem spot. Because
Really?
look at a lot of major rock bands. How many of them actually come to New Jersey? None.
Really? You think
Yeah.
so?
Most of them, if they come in this area, it's either Philly or New York City.
I think now more than ever, though, bands are coming to Asbury Park. I mean, like,
No, because the whole insurance thing of New Jersey now, so it doesn't matter where.
are you talking about like big national
Like I'm talking about
acts?
national
yeah, yeah.
acts.
Because I feel like, I mean, I see the bands playing in Asbury this summer. And there's a lot. I mean, like, do you know the band White Reaper?
Never even heard of
God,
them.
they're so good.
Well,
They're playing the
keep it on
lanes
to,
in
like-
two. No, they're a huge fucking band.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the bands playing Summer Stage too, I mean, I would say more than ever, they're having like touring bands coming in through Asbury, more than I ever saw growing up. I don't know. I guess it depends. Like they had.
That's like one of my favorite bands right now is Baroness. I don't know if you ever listened to them. They're phenomenal.
Sounds really.
But they're from
familiar.
Philly, and you think a Philly band would play New Jersey?
Oh, interesting.
Nope.
Yeah.
They play New York City, Philadelphia, and then that's the only shows they have anywhere in this area.
It's a whole different thing. Like I said, some of the guys that I do work for, man, insurance in here is like insane. You want to go insure your venue that you're playing at, the band
Yeah.
still has to hold that card.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, for sure.
So-
I mean, yeah. I mean, I feel like the weekend shows for sure of like not even the weekend, but I don't know. There's bands, but
there's bands, but then there's also, if they have an option, they're gonna pass
it's just
on it.
it's just a
Yeah.
weird time in rock and
It is.
and a weird time in Asbury. I played Asbury yesterday. I played the Asbury Ocean Club for a private event because they do like the up in the pool spot, which was really nice. But it's like there's so many people around. There's just so many people from out of. I'm like, I don't recognize anybody in this town anymore.
Well, and then
Usually
most of those
that's what you
people
want.
are not paying attention to you.
No, or they're just on
Yeah,
vacation.
it's just background music. at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah. It's just like, it's weird. I don't know. Anyway,
We shall see. You're gonna have to come back and tell us
I
all
would
about
love to.
and keep that attitude going.
Trying to.
Thank you for coming on.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh!
no,
Thank
thank
you
you.
guys.
We had so
I'm
much fun.
so glad. Anytime.
We'll get you in the studio, play a couple acoustic
Yes,
songs.
I would love that.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
All right, well, tune in 2 weeks for the next episode. Oh, we got to do the sponsors. We didn't even touch the
Oh my
sponsors.
God, you're slacking.
Slacking.
You suck.
As always,
So fired.
Manafirkin Brewery. We love Manafirkin. At this point, the show has already happened. I hope it went well.
I hope it goes well too.
Me too. And I guess we'll announce it on this one. We're going to be doing a second show at Manafirkin on Labor Day weekend, Sunday, September 3rd. And the best part of this show is this fuck ain't going to be there.
It's probably the best part. Thank you.
Yeah, we will have a guest host that day on the podcast, Mr.
have that.
Mr. Mark Ward. No,
Okay. Yeah.
he just goes around pulling people's plugs. That's all.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, that's what you get for fucking playing animal skin.
Yeah,
Anyway,
right? And then we got Lofadelic Records on Main Street in Belmar.
Yes.
They're a proud supporter of the podcast.
Hell yeah. I love those guys.
Yeah, awesome guys. And then we got our newest one, TrueJersey.com.
yes.
They make some awesome T-shirts and stupid shit. And
Yes.
I got a beer koozie with the St. Danny DeVito on it. It's pretty fucking
Oh,
awesome.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I think I got a sticker of New Jersey.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
We got definitely check them out, and I'll put in the description. And we're gonna have a code if you go to TrueNewJersey.com. Use our code, 10% off your order.
Isn't our code like fucking 14,000 lines?
It is. It's a long one, but it works.
Just copy and paste.
Yeah, copy and paste. Copy and paste. All right. Well, thanks again for coming out.
Thank
Yes,
you guys
thank
so
you.
Really
much. It was
appreciate
such
it.
a pleasure.
Absolutely.
It was a good one. I liked it. It was good.
I like her attitude.
Yeah, she's definitely coming back.
Yeah.
And
I'll
when,
come
when
back
we do our
anytime.
little collaborative thing, I'm definitely
Hell
bringing
yeah.
you back
Please
in.
do. Anytime. Anytime you guys need a drummer.
We'll
hit
throw
me
you
up.
and Cranston
That's
in
awesome.
there.
We do that stuff all the time. I call him all the time when I have jams. I'm like, Cran, you're gonna play. We'll do some drums, do some guitar, because we're both drumming singers.
Yeah, that's right. I remember him saying that
Yeah.
too.
Well, I told you before. Last week was our first ever no show, and the one thing I really loved about Cranston was
Did Cranston come on?
No,
a
I
whim?
posted
Oh.
on Instagram saying, "Oh, it's 2.5 years in, and we got our first no show. I guess that's not too bad." And he's like, "Dude, next time call me. I'll be there in 20 minutes."
Yeah, seriously. That's awesome. I love
So,
him.
yeah.
He is my dude. Love Cran.
All right. Well, thanks again.
Thank you
Thank
guys so much.
Good luck out
Thank
there.
you. See you soon. All right, I'll do one more. Cool. Everything levels and all good. Sweet. All right. So this is the self-titled track off my new record. This is a song called Acceptance. comes and goes away. Every other Saturday, you'll know what the truth is when you find it. Trying hard to find your way. Nothing's working out for you. Running round in circles trying to hide it. Acceptance comes and goes away, and you are all I need to stay and find the strength inside to know what it truly means to let it go. Trying hard to move along, thinking your decision's wrong. Some days you just don't know what to do. Guess what? I got news for you, that no one here has got a clue just how or what any of this means. Acceptance comes and goes away, and you are all I need to stay and find the strength inside to know what it truly means to let it go. So you sink until you swim, and